วิสุทธสันดานตัดมูลกเลสมารมองมิมนมิมองมัวหนึ่งในพระทัยท่านก็เบิกบานคือดอกบัวราคีบอกพันผัวสุวคนทกรรมจรองค์ใดประกอบด้วยพระกรุณาดังสากรโปรดหมู่ประชากรมาละโอคกันดานชี้ทางบรรเทาทุกข์และชี้สุขเกษมสันต์ชี้ทางพระนฤพาลอันพ้นโศกวิโยคภัยพร้อมเป็นจะพิทจักสุจรัตน์วิมลใสเห็นเหตุที่ไกลไกลก็เจนจบประจักษ์จริงกำจัดน้ำใจยามสันดานบามแห่งชายหญิงสัตว์โลกได้พึ่งพิงมาละบาปบำเพ็ญบุญข้าขอประโนทน้อมศิระกล่าวบังคมคุณสัมพุทธการุณยาภาพนั้นนิรันดร
ธรรมะคือคุณากรส่วนชอบสาธรดุจดวงประทีปชัชวาลแห่งองค์พระศาสดาจารย์ส่องสัตย์สันดานสว่างกระจ่างใจมนทำใดนับโดยมรรคผลเป็นแปดพึงยนต์และก้าวกับทั้งนฤพาลสมญาโลกอุดรพิสดารอันลึกโอฬารพิสุทธิ์พิเศษสุขใสอีกธรรมต้นทางคันไลนามขนานคานไขปฏิบัติปริยัติเป็นสองคือทางดำเนินดุจจะคลองให้หน่วงลูกปองยังโลกอุดรโดยตรงข้าขอโอนอ่อนอุตตมงนอบธรรมจำนงด้วยจิตและกายวาจา
ข
ปฏิบัติมาแต่องค์สมเด็จภควันเห็นแจ้งจตุสัจเสร็จบันรู้ทางที่อันระงับและดับทุกภัยโดยเสด็จพระผู้ตรัสไตรปัญญาผ่องใสสะอาดและปราดมัวมองเหินห่างทางข้าศึกปองบ่มีลำพองด้วยกายและวาจาใจเป็นเนื้อนาบุญอันไพสารแด่โลกายและเกิดพิบูลคูณพ้นสมญาเอารสทศพลมีคุณอานนท์อเนกจะนับเหลือตราข้าขอนบหมู่พระสราพกทรงคุณานุคุณประดุจจรำพันด้วยเดชบุญข้าอภิวันพระไตรรัตน์อันอุดมดิเรกนิรัตไสยจงช่วยขจัดโพยภัยอันตรายใดๆจงดับและกลับเสื่อมสูญ
นโค้งนี่เลยว่าแดงขาดในลมหรือเปล่า นะโมนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะเอตานิมยังพันเตภัตตานิสัพพวิวารานิสีรวันตัสสะโอโนชยามะสาธุโนพันเตสีรวันโตเอตานิภัตตานิสัพพวิวารานิปฏิคันหาตุอัมหากังทีฆาตังอิตายะสุขายะข้าแต่พระคุณเจ้าผู้เจริญข้าพระเจ้าทั้งหลายขอน้อมถวายซึ่งภัตตาหารกับของที่เป็นบริวารทั้งหลายเหล่านี้แด่พระคุณเจ้าขอพระคุณเจ้าจงรับซึ่งภัตตาหารกับของที่เป็นบริวารทั้งหลายเหล่านี้เพื่อประโยชน์เพื่อความสุขแก่ข้าพเจ้าทั้งหลายสิ้นกาลนานเถิด
วริวาปุราปริปุเรนติสาการังเอวเมวะอิโตทินังเปตานังอุปกปปติจิตังปฏิตังตุมังคิปะเมวะสมิจตุสัพเพปเรนตุสังกปปาจันโดปนรสุยตามณิโจติรโสยตาสัมมิติโยวิวัจจันโดสัพพโรโกวินาศตุมาเตภวัตวันตรายโยสุขิติกายุโกภวะอภิวาทนาสีลสานิจังวดาปัจจายโนจาตารโอธัมมาวดันติอายุวันโนสุขังบาลังบาวะโตสัพพมังคลังรักขันโตสัพพเทวตาสัพพพุทธานุภาเวนะสันดาโสติภวันตุเตบาวะโตสัพพมังคลังรักขันโตสัพพเทวตาสัพพธัมมานุภาเวนะสันดาโสติภวันตุเตบาวะโตสัพพมังคลังรักขันโตสัพพเทวตาสัพพสังฆานุภาเวนะสันดาโสติภวันตุเต
เ
เป็นการมีอะไรนะร้านนี้ตัดมา
เครื่องรถน้ำรองนะกินข้าวปวดหลังไหมไม่กินกับแดงเลยอะไรของไทย
โอเคตามภาพพร้อมกันนะครับสัมมาสัมพุทโธภควาพุทธังภควันตังอภิวาเทมิสวากขาโตภควตาธัมโมธัมมังนัมมัสสามิสุปฏิปันโนภควโตสาวกสังโฆสังฆังนามามินะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะมะยังพันเตติสรณเนนะสหะปัญจศีลานิยาจามะทุติยมปิมะยังพันเตติสรณเนนะสหะปัญจศีลานิยาจามะตติยมปิมะยังพันเตติสรณเนนะสหะปัญจศีลานิยาจามะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะนะโมตัสสะภะคะวะโตอะระหะโตสัมมาสัมพุทธัสสะพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิทุติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิทุ ปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ทุติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิพุทธังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิธัมมังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ตติยัมปิสังฆังสรณังคัจฉามิ
ทิสารณะกัมปนังนิพพิตัง
อามะพันเต
ปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
ปานาติปาตาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
อาทินนาทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
อทินนาทานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
กาเมสุมิจฉาจาระเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
กาเมสุมิชฌาจาราเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาดาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
มุสาวาทาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
สุระเมรยมัจจาปมัตตานาเวรมณีสิกขาปดังสมาธิยามิ
สุราเมรยมัชฌปมาทฐานาเวรมณีสิกขาปะทังสมาธิยามิ
อิมานิปัญจสิกขาปดานิสีเลนะสุขติยันติสีเลนะโภคสัมปดาสีเลนะนิพพิยันติสมาสีนังเวโรดานิ
สาธุ
So this is the last month of the year. So this is the last. So this is now the last month of the year, the last first Sunday of the month of the year. So it's the last time we'll meet like this year. Doesn't seem possible. Another year's gone by. I was in one of the prisons I go to the other day, and someone mentioned quite a serious incident that occurred there. And it was a year ago. I couldn't believe that a whole year had gone by since then. But they always say that as you're getting a bit older, it all goes much faster, and it's certainly speeding up for me. So here we are, getting ready for Christmas and all that, I can see. Sometimes when I come to these Sundays, it's the day after an event that I hold every quarter for the sometimes when I come to these Sundays, it's the day after an event that I hold every quarter for the Buddhist prison chaplains. And most of you know about this deep involvement that I have in imprisonment. And
team of nearly 50 people who visit prisons and offer Buddhist teaching and practice to the inmates. So we have 140 prisons here in this country, and I go to about, 10 or a dozen of them, and the rest I have this team that visits. And so every quarter I ask them, or most of them, to come to see me, and we have a day together. And yesterday was quite an inspiring day yesterday, for the most part. And we had the new Chaplain General to the Prison Service come and talk, and he's a personal friend as well as a colleague in us. And he's a meditator, he's a contemplative. So there was quite a nice connection, and a very pleasant time we had. But I just thought I'd share with you some of the things that came up at that meeting, because I operate in two or three different spheres, really. Very traditional Buddhism, with people like yourselves, where traditional observances are well known, and the customs and courtesies of Buddhist tradition are well observed. And then I also operate with mostly Farang, local English people. And they don't know very much about the customs and courtesies of Buddhist tradition. And some of them are very sympathetic and want to learn. And some of them feel that it's all totally unnecessary, and they rather even object to things like bowing and putting their hands together and doing anything except practicing meditation, it seems. And then also I operate in the prison sphere, where it's a kind of mixed bag, really. The people, for the most part, apart from the Vietnamese, and we have a lot of Vietnamese in prison here now, who speak no English. But apart from them, the Buddhist population in the prisons is of people who have come to Buddhism since they came to prison. So they've never had any connection with a Buddhist group anywhere outside the prison. So they've had little opportunity to observe Buddhist traditions or customs and courtesies or anything like that. Although they are mostly very anxious to learn. And sometimes they ask me quite pointedly what they should do and how they should address me and whether they should shake my hand or not and things like that, because they want to learn. And it's an odd thing that a lot of prisons, there's a whole sort of group of people, English people in prison that we call villains, and they're the sort of traditional gangsters. And some of them are extremely well-mannered and courteous and quite gentlemen, old-school gentlemen. Their ethics aren't quite acceptable in polite society, but nevertheless they do have a code of ethics of their own, and they're very polite and like things to be done properly. And for the most part, actually, the people I encounter in prison like things to be done properly. And they don't have much time for example, an observance of precepts, the 5 precepts, which isn't properly done. And one of the things I have to sort of keep on about with my team of Buddhist chaplains, who are a mixed bag. Some are Theravadins, some are Tibetan Buddhist followers, some are Zen, different schools, different groups. It's quite a mixed bag. Some are friends of the Western Buddhist Order, Sri Ratna's order, as they call themselves now. A very mixed bag. And of course, these different groups have, because they're mostly developed here in the West, they have their own interpretations of things. And I think it's unfortunate in a way that Buddhism has come to the West led not by the Sangha, but very often by lay Buddhist people who have acquired some interest in Buddhism when they've been traveling or through their studies, and they are very, there's no question about it, very sincere in what they're doing, but they are still lay people, and so they want a code of ethics which suits them, and thus we get all sorts of interpretations of things like precepts and even some of the Buddhist teachings. So I kind of walk this minefield because I have to keep all these people on side, and yet I somehow have to give them some guidance, and particularly with the Buddhist prison chaplains, I have to be very firm about precepts, because within the different Buddhist groups and lay Buddhist groups, there are all sorts of interpretations and views about precepts. Some of them don't like precepts at all. Some of them would rather have nothing to do with precepts. They think that these are an imposition, that they're not, they obstruct one's freedom. And they think that Buddhism is all about basically doing as you want, being free to do as you want. With the Buddhist prison chaplains, I'm very firm. I insist that they observe the 5 precepts properly, including the 5th precept, which is open to a tremendous variety of interpretations. But for the most part, the inclination is towards not getting drunk, or at least not getting blind drunk, rather than abstaining from alcohol altogether. And I have to be very firm, because we are dealing, not only do I believe that you're not going to make any progress unless you keep the precepts and train yourselves properly with the precepts, but also in the prisons we're dealing with people who, whatever dreadful things they might have done, want things done properly. And they have little patience with people who will come along and say, you must do this, but I'm going to do something else. You mustn't drink, you can't take drugs, and yet be smelling of alcohol as they're coming in the evening shower. The prisons have no time for this. And of course it's very difficult for anyone to take seriously advice and teachings if you feel that it's hypocritical. If you feel that the persons who are teaching you are not prepared to abide by the same sort of standards. And it's crucial that if we are to express Buddhism, and if we are to try and promote Buddhism, we do it properly. And that we do go back to see what the Buddha said about certain things and do our best to express that as it should be. Of course, some of Buddha's teachings are quite difficult. When people coming fresh to Buddhism find, for example, the teaching on rebirth or the teaching on anatta difficult to grasp, a bit worrying. And it's true that evidence for rebirth is not an exact science. But there it is, we have to place some trust in what the Buddha taught. If we are to follow this path at all, we need to just contemplate for a while the person, the teacher who we're following. So, yesterday, for example, this is the sort of thing I had to do my best to advise people on these different groups keep a standard and to keep them all on side, as well as to try and make sure that the essentials of Buddhism were being observed and taught. And this is important. One thing that they keep on about, of course, is that Buddhism is a training. Well, of course, I say that over and over again. You've all heard me here talking about, we are in training. But being in training, or considering the precepts, or the whole Buddhist path as a training, shouldn't be an excuse for just doing it now and then, for just observing the precepts on the odd occasion. For going off and having a drink and say, well, I'm only training myself to give up alcohol. I'm not actually doing it, I'm training myself. That becomes really a false position. If you are training, if you are an athlete in training, then you work at it. You work at trying to do something which is difficult to do, turning your body into something other than what it was originally. And you do it by a consistent approach, by continually doing the same thing over and over until gradually your body and your mind are re-educated. And in a way, that is what we're doing in our Buddhist practice. But we do have to be doing it sincerely and over and over and over again, because if we just do it occasionally, it may give us a nice feeling. We may think to ourselves we've done something useful, but it will have little effect. And we won't be bringing ourselves out of suffering. And remember, that is what we're trying to do with our Buddhist practice. We're trying to overcome these defilements, these killing, which just wreck our lives and our world, and really just come out of suffering, just leave it behind. That is what we're trying to do. And these are practical applications that we have on this Buddhist path to enable us to do it. Buddhist meditation, well, we have the precepts, we have meditation, we have things like attending to the way you earn your living. All this is there in the Noble Eightfold Path. You know as well as I do about Sin Samadhi Panya. So you have the precepts, so you do your best to lead an ethical life. Then you are training your mind, trying to change your inner attitude, and out of all this eventually comes the wisdom which lets go of all suffering. But particularly, what do you have? The tools that you have on hand are the precepts, your meditation, and also paying attention to how you earn your living, how you work. So the precepts, 5 precepts, 5 modes of abstinence. And they are about not doing something, abstaining, just not doing it again. It's not sort of, oh, I'll do a little bit. The precept about alcohol. Someone the other day applied to be a Buddhist prison chaplain, and they had to fill in a form, and that form tells me a little bit about them before I ever meet them, you see. So on that form it has questions like, what kind of Buddhist are you? How long have you been a Buddhist? Would you be open to promoting, or at least facilitating, forms of Buddhism other than your own? And then I say, in prison, you will meet a lot of people who are there, or whose lives have been radically damaged by alcohol and drugs. How do you keep your 5th precept? And I get answers like this one the other day. Oh, I follow my Lama's advice. Drink not drunk. My heart sinks when I see this. And then others will say, well, they don't get drunk very often, but they do like to have wine with their meal, and so it goes on. And if I call them in to interview them, then I try and persuade them that actually that precept is about abstinence. You don't do a little bit of killing. It's not advisable to do a little bit of theft. And a little bit of sexual misconduct isn't a good idea either. So why are you prepared to do a little bit of breaking of the fifth precept? If you do a little bit of killing, you'll probably be in prison. If you do a little bit of stealing, you'll certainly be in prison. If you do a little bit of sexual misconduct, you'll certainly be in trouble. A little bit of lying doesn't go down well either. No one will trust you. I used to have a neighbour, he's dead now, a very nice old man, who was a retired Air Commodore. And he used to go to Ubon when there was a British RAF base there, so we got on very well from the moment I met him. One day, we were both walking our dogs down by the river, and he had his young grandson with him. And he called me over, and he said, I just want to introduce my young grandson. He's just lied to me. Would you mind telling him why he shouldn't lie? So there I was, down by the river, with my dogs, having to give this child a little sermon. And I said to him, if you lie, if you tell untruths, and people find that out, as they will, then you will be known as someone who doesn't tell the truth. And when you're known as someone who doesn't tell the truth, even when you do tell the truth, people might not believe you. And you won't be trusted. People won't feel comfortable with you. And that's it. That's how it is. Do a little bit of lying, it soon gets out. Because if you do a little bit of lying, you often have to do a little bit more lying to cover up the first lie. And the whole web of untruth grows and grows. And of course you're found out. And you're known as someone who doesn't tell the truth. I know one or two people who've lied to me. And once they've lied to me, I'm not so sure about them after that. So it's not a good idea. I know we all make slips and mistakes. But really you have to make that effort to not lie. You have to make that effort to abstain from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, untruth. A little bit of those is no good, it's no help. And so it is with a little bit of alcohol. Because a little bit of alcohol and a little bit of drugs often grows into quite a lot. And if you break that fifth precept, you break the rest very, very easily. And if I could take you with me around the prisons and talking to the prisoners, you would hear horror story after horror story after horror story of someone who had a small problem with drugs or just was consistently drinking, and one day, and they can't remember what they did, but they did something terrible, and their whole lives have been changed out of all recognition. So those precepts are all important, and it's important that they are kept properly, done properly. If you do them properly, then good results will come. Livelihood. Well, the Noble Eightfold Path, the ethical part of the Noble Eightfold Path, of course, is right speech, right action, right livelihood. And it often seems to me that livelihood gets a bit overlooked. Everyone has to somehow obtain the four requisites. We call them in Buddhist, in monastic discipline, the four requisites. So we need food, we need something to clothe ourselves, we need a dwelling, and when we're sick we need medicines. These are called the 4 requisites. And you all need the same. You need to be able to clothe yourself, you need to have some shelter, somewhere to live, you have to eat every day, and if you're unwell, you need to be able to take some sort of medicine or remedy to get better. And somehow or other, everyone has to obtain these essentials. So how are you going to do it? A lot of people do it in unethical ways. Some people do it without thinking. Some people just take jobs and never think about the ethics, about whether they're exploiting someone, whether they're in any way harming another person or creature. But do think about all this. The basic principle which underpins Buddhist morality is harmlessness. A question, am I doing any harm? And if you are doing harm, stop. Don't do it, and don't do it again. So livelihood is a key thing. It's something that you can't get away from. You've got to obtain those requisites. And every day, many of you are involved in some form of livelihood. Sometimes livelihoods in themselves are unethical. I mean, being a butcher isn't a good job. Being a soldier, actually, isn't a good job. It may look very glamorous, but soldiers actually are trained to kill, to operate weapons of destruction. So some livelihoods are in themselves unskillful, others are not, but may be operated or embarked on in unethical ways. So just question yourself, look at what you do, and ask yourself that question: am I harming myself or another in doing this? This is the question the Buddha asked his son, Rahula, to ask himself before doing, while doing, and having done anything. Have I or another, or both I and another, been harmed by this? And if there is harm, don't do it again. Then, meditation. I talked about we are kind of, in a sense, we're in training ourselves, we are re-educating ourselves. We're changing our view. This is what meditation ultimately is leading to. Meditation now in the West can mean all sorts of things. It can mean sort of dreaming about being on a wonderful beach in the South Pacific and just being absolutely blissed out. It can mean all sorts. For some it's just purely concentrating. But for us, it's a way of training our minds and changing our minds, changing our inner attitude. And yes, re-educating our inner attitude. So our meditation practice is about concentrating. It is about trying to gather our minds, which mostly don't want to do that. And it's also about observing, watching ourselves. And eventually, it's about seeing the nature of things, experiencing, understanding that things are impermanent, that they're not satisfactory, and there is no substance, no self, no substance to any of this. And that's not just an intellectual understanding, because a lot of people will readily accept those explanations and then act in quite different ways. It's about really knowing. So your response to everything, you understand it in the very depths of your being. Things are imperfect, are changing. Change is something that is happening all the time. Even as I watch the river that runs past the forest hermitage, it's running all the time. It doesn't stop. And life is like that. It's flowing and changing constantly. And you can't hold it. You can't stop it. You can't turn it back. And our practice by re-educating is not about believing, it's about seeing. And seeing all this for yourself. Buddhism is the most amazing and wonderful teaching. Utterly unlike anything else available. And difficult. But, I think that's good. I think it's great, but it's difficult. I don't want the same old stuff. I want something that changes. And changes things for the better. Changes me for the better. Changes you for the better. This is how things get better. This is how we come out of suffering. And only by doing it properly. So I've rambled on for quite a long time now.
Okay, we sit back for meditating for 10 minutes.
Dhamma yang Brahma Vihara Paranang Pranamase สัพเพสัตตาสัตว์ทั้งหลายทั้งปวงอาเวลาโหนตุจงเป็นผู้ไม่มีเวรเถิดอาพยาปัจจาโหนตุจงเป็นผู้ไม่เบียดเบียนกันเถิดอานิฆาโหนตุจงเป็นผู้ไม่มีทุกข์กายทุกข์ใจเถิดสุขีอัตตานังปริหารันตุจงเป็นผู้มีสุขรักษาตนเถิดสัพเพสัตตาสัตว์ทั้งหลายทั้งปวงทุกขาปมุจจันตุจงพ้นจากทุกข์เถิดสัพเพสัตตาสัตว์ทั้งหลายทั้งปวงมาลาธาสัมปติโตวิกัจฉันตุจงอย่าไปปราศจากสมบัติอันได้แล้วเถิดสัพเพสัตตาสัตว์ไปทั้งปวงกรรมสกาเป็นผู้มีกรรมเป็นของตนกรรมดายาดาเป็นผู้รับผลของกรรมกรรมโยนิเป็นผู้มีกรรมเป็นกำเนิดกรรมพันธุเป็นผู้มีกรรมเป็นเผ่าพันธุ์กรรมปฏิสรณาเป็นผู้มีกรรมเป็นที่พึ่งอาศัยยังกรรมังกริสันติอยากทำกรรมอันใดไว้การยานังวาปาปะกังวาดีหรือชั่วอัตตดายาดาภวิสันติจะเป็นผู้รับผลของกรรมนั้นสติภาวนาปาทังพนามเสอายังโคเมกายโยกายของเรานี้แลปวดทางบาดตะลาเบื้องบนแต่พื้นเท้าขึ้นมาพาโทเกสามัทกาเบื้องต่ำแต่ปลายผมลงไปทาจะปริยันโตมีหนังหุ้มอยู่เป็นที่สุดรอบอุโรนานะปะการัสสะอสุจิโนเป็นไปด้วยของไม่สะอาดมีประการต่างๆอาทิมัสสมิงกายเยมีอยู่ในกายนี้เกสาคือผมทั้งหลายโลมาคือขนทั้งหลายหน้าขาคือเล็บทั้งหลายดันตาคือฟันทั้งหลายตาโจคือหนัง มังสังคือเนื้อนาหารูคือเอ็นทั้งหลายอาทิคือกระดูกทั้งหลายอาทิมินทังเยื่อในกระดูกว่ากังไตอาดายังหัวใจยากนังตับกิโลมะกังพังผืดปีหากังม้ามปากผาสังกรอันตังไส้ใหญ่อันตะคุณังไส้น้อยอุจาริยังอาหารใหม่กาลีสังอาหารเก่ามาคเกมัทะลุงทางเยื่อในสมองศีรษะศีลาน้ำดีเสมหังน้ำเสลดปุโกน้ำเหลืองโลหิตังน้ำเลือดเทโทน้ำเหงื่อเมโทน้ำมันข้นอัสสุน้ำตาวาสาน้ำมันเหลวเทโลน้ำลายสิงคานิกาน้ำมูกราติกาน้ำไขข้อมูตตาน้ำมูดเอวะมะยังเมกายโยกายของเรามีอย่างนี้ปูทางบาลตลาเรื่องบนแต่พื้นเท้าขึ้นมาอาโทเกสาคกาเรื่องต่ำแต่ปลายผมลงไปปราจากปริยันโตมีหนังหุ้มอยู่เป็นที่สุดรอบอุโรนานาปการัสสะอสุจิโนเต็มไปด้วยของไม่สะอาดมีประการต่างๆอย่างนี้อันธมยังปฏิดานังพนามเสบุญญาสิกานิกาตัสสะญาณัญญานิกตานิเมเอตัญจภากิโนโหนตุสัตตานันตาปมาณคาขอสัตว์ทั้งหลายไม่มีที่สุดไม่มีประมาณจงเป็นผู้มีส่วนแห่งบุญที่ข้าพเจ้าได้ทำในบัดนี้และแห่งบุญทั้งหลายอื่นที่ข้าพเจ้าได้ทำแล้วเยปิยาคุณวันตาจาคือชนเหล่าใดเป็นที่รักผู้มีคุณนายหั่งมาตาปิตาดโยมีมารดาและบิดาของข้าพเจ้าเป็นต้นเดชาเมจาปยายิทาวาที่ข้าพเจ้าได้เห็นหรือแม้ไม่ได้เห็นอันเยมัจจตเวริโนสัตตาทิทันติโลกัสมิงแก่สัตว์ทั้งหลายอื่นที่เป็นกลางแก่มีเวรกันตั้งอยู่ในโลกเทภูมาจตุโยนิกาเกิดในภูมิสามเกิดในกำเนิดสี่ปัญเจกจตุโวการามีขันธ์ห้าและขันธ์หนึ่งและขันธ์สี่สังสรันตาภวาภเวท่องเที่ยวอยู่ในภพน้อยและภพใหญ่ยาตังเยปฏิดานัมเมสัตว์เหล่าใดทราบการให้ส่วนบุญของข้าพเจ้าแล้วอนุโมดันตุเตสยังขอสัตว์เหล่านั้นจงอนุโมทนาเองเถิดเยจิมังนัปปชานันติก็สัตว์เหล่าใดย่อมไม่ทราบการให้ส่วนบุญของข้าพเจ้านี้เทวาเตสังนิเวทยุงขอเทพทั้งหลายพึงแจ้งแก่สัตว์เหล่านั้นนายาดินนานะปุญญานังอนุโมทนาเหตุนาเพราะเหตุคืออนุโมทนาบุญทั้งหลายที่ข้าพเจ้าให้แล้วสัพเพสัตตาสดาโหนตุอเวราสุขชีวิโนขอสัตว์ทั้งปวงจงอย่ามีเวรอยู่เป็นสุขเสมอเถิดเขมัปปะดันจะปะโปนตุและจงถึงทางอันเกษมเถิดเตชะราติจะตังสุภาขอความหวังอันดีของสัตว์เหล่านั้นจงสำเร็จเถิด
But cultivating metta. So the last few minutes, focus your minds on metta. And then offer yourself your loving kindness. Quite consciously and deliberately try and promote towards yourself a friendly attitude, a kind and considerate attitude. Spread that loving kindness to those around you and to all beings to
We're going to Bangkok on next month
next
and
month.
come back 20.
I'm coming back, I think. I'm going on the 8th.
Yeah.
I'm flying out on the 8th. And I'm just in the process of changing my ticket again to come back on the night of the 27th.
27th.
So back on the 28th. I was coming back the night before, and then I heard from Thailand that because Samdip Sangaraj has died, and the Prakfara and Papon are going to do the chanting on the 27th. So I'm trying to change my ticket so I can join that.
So we meet you again on Not worried then. ไม่รู้วันไหนนะ It depends on if you we have
อนิจจังทุกขังอนัตตาทั่วทุก